And we're going to go ahead and start the recording back up. Obviously, this might be a shock to um, anybody watching the video from YouTube, but I just had a slight discussion prior, so um, you can check on that. I'll put it in the. I normally put those kind of like vlogs or uh, talks in my Just Life playlist. But okay, we are going to be working on the automating workflow decisions. We got, the topic of decision points and the module quiz. I'm coming in fairly late, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all the decision points. We'll see. Well, I might push this a little bit into past 3 o'clock my time, PST, to discuss more about decision points, but I probably won't hit module quiz today. I only got about 15 more minutes left, so. But I wanted to, um, I want to state though that, um, uh, for anybody that's watching and that's watched these videos on YouTube before, feel free to kind of jump ahead a little bit, because I'm going to repeat the same exact things that I've said before. I'm not endorsed by Pega, so don't consider that as such. I'm not an authorized training partner. This is not should not be considered an instructor-led training. I'm working towards my certification for system architect and or well, may well, not necessarily or uh, maybe business architect as well. Um, So I don't have any certifications to kind of back up what I'm saying on here, so don't consider me an instructor. Um, if you can afford their instructor-led training, then I suggested you do so, because hopefully they're getting a trainer directly from Pega that knows exactly what they're talking about and will help you, help guide you through the certification process to get the certifications you need. Um, you know, I had an instructor at my last job, and well, that didn't really go very well. So, um, you know, me and multiple of my batchmates um, weren't really happy with the instructor. So, um, so consider doing this if you can afford it. Uh, yeah, I do consider it quite pricey, but I mean at the same time, someone's taking the time to teach you. So, I mean, I don't know how long the program is, but I mean, you're basically paying the teacher, right? Um, so that's not exactly cheap. So, but I wanted to state that right here at the very beginning of the video, so no one thinks um, that um, you know uh, views me as someone that's a complete expert. I'm gonna be have questions. I'm gonna be having concerns. So, um, if you're watching this, on YouTube and you are someone from Pega or a professional Pega developer or something along those lines, and if you see that I'm having some questions and I don't find an answer to them, then please provide them in the comments so not only do I get an answer to it, but someone else might have that same kind of question or concern and might help them out as well. So or come to my Twitch chat and talk to me directly, and I'll say exactly what you posted, and um, the answer will be like right there, right then and there. Um, so there you go. All right, let's get into decision points, shall we? We got about 10 more minutes for 10-minute content. Um, ooh, this might be a little difficult here, but we'll see what we can do. All right, decision points. Automated decisions. Automating decisions based on business logic allows application users to focus on decisions that require human expertise. For example, a loan applicant with a low credit score but a high salary and a passing background check may require a loan officer to assist additional qualifying factors that cannot be automated. In Pega platform, you can model complex case life cycles that require branching or skipping a step. For example, when a home is above a certain age, it must be tested for lead paint. When a home is below a certain age, it does not need to be tested for lead paint. In Pega platform application, a flow is a sequence of events that models a business process. You create flows to support the different paths that users can take through a case lifecycle. You can define paths in a flow by using graphical shapes and connectors. The shapes and settings that you choose depend on the types and decisions that users make, and in the order in which the event occur. In the center of the following image, click the vertical line to compare the case lifecycle and process flow views. All right, so you have the case lifecycle view, where they're going, step by step. Of an inspection process of an appraisal request, what is the house age, the appraisal report, and additional tests if required, right? Whereas in the process flow view, you have the start of the appraisal, you have the appraisal request. Someone sends in a request for an appraisal. They check uh, the age of the house, and if it's over 50, then they need some additional tests, mainly, as they stated here, must be tested for lead paint. If it's below 50, then you might not need these additional tests. Now, that's not to say that there might not need like additional tests anyway. Like, you may need like a plumber or electrician or something like that to come out and check the building anyway. Inspections. So, um, so that might come in like at the very end or something like that, or you might have a flow that goes into another check or something along those lines, right? But um, but I think um the flow's off here. This arrow should be pointing to the appraisal report because you want the appraisal report to be done each and every single time, would you not? So I think the process flow view is incorrect. Um, let me mention that here. Uh, in the first image for the process flow, wouldn't the additional tests flow into the appraisal part? I know I'm misspelling appraisal. Isn't the appraisal report a standard that is received each time. So um, the flow should go to it instead of bypassing that particular step. Um, if you wanted to show the flow skipping the step, then maybe have an additional step prior to the report, like minimal testing such as a plumbing inspection. My brain is telling me that there's something wrong with the spelling of plumbing. Hold on a second. Um, yeah. Oh, get back up there. All right. All right. We move on. Decision shapes. You can use a decision shape to add a conditional path to a flow or model more complex use cases. That's that's weird. Okay. By defining the events that cause your flow to follow different paths, you can create cases that support more than one outcome. Decision shapes are configured to advance a workflow automatically. An automated decision evaluates business logic or a set of one or more conditions. For example, the decision shape credit score and range models an automated decision following a credit check on a potential policyholder. The decision shape determines if an insurance agency wants to sign a new policyholder. If the result is yes, then the customer is notified and the work is routed to the underwriter. If the result is no, then the case proceeds to follow up with the customer, likely with a denial notification. Likely with a denial notification. Yeah, I love credit scores. All right. Um, so you start the process, you run the credit check, you check if the credit score is in range. If it is, then you do the underwriting. If no, you do the follow up, and then you end the entire process. So this is a little bit better of a flow than kind of what's up here based off of um, the style because you're not, you know, well, okay, the follow up could potentially lead to underwriting, right? They could be, coming back and while their credit score might not be in range, they might actually be taking a lot of steps to repair their credit range. And therefore, hey, guess what? They might actually be able to handle it. You know, they might be able to actually handle paying for a new car or home loan or something like that because they're already paying for things that doesn't go on the credit score, you know. Oh, well. Variations of the decision flow include cases that move forward but may include another step as needed. You can choose when an additional processing is needed to support case processing. Cases that go to another stage. You can use change stage shape to move a case to a different stage in the case lifecycle. By skipping a stage, you can support out-of-sequence processing in a case. Cases that go back to the beginning of the current stage, you can use change stage shape to return to a stage in the case lifecycle. By revisiting the stage, you can support repeat processes in the case as necessary. So, I mean, you could allow for the person that is doing the follow-up to change the stage to the underwriting. They could do that, but I mean that doesn't the flow right there doesn't necessarily show that they can. So, all right, this is a little bit small. I can't really see everything here. So this is the question at the end here. We barely made it to the end. So uh, a prospective employee must pass a criminal background check before receiving an offer. Where in the workflow should you add a decision point? Drag the shapes on the right to the correct place or the process flow below, or correct place on the process flow below. So, um, so you want to send a rejection email there for a fail. that's that. That's pretty easy. You know, for a pass, you offered the job. You're doing a background check to see, would they fail the background check or would they pass the background check? And then, of course, you want to evaluate the candidate. So, yay, all of them are great. You know, now it would be very odd for, conduct phone interview and then, well, I can't even modify it after the fact, huh? Okay. It would be very interesting if you do a conduct phone interview and suddenly you offer the job like right then and there. I mean, you can, I've it's quite possible if someone does do that, you know, offering the person a job like, you know, right after speaking to them. It's happened before, on multiple occasions. So, this could definitely be something that occurs. Um, background check could come before the phone interview, for example, right? Um, or, it might not even, they might not even really do a background check, which isn't exactly good either. Um, because what if you're offering a job to someone that has had like a lot of problems in their past job or something like that, or maybe they got arrested for beating up their coworkers or something like that. It's like you might want to be careful with doing conduct phone interview to offer a job, right? So, Okay, so next tomorrow we'll be going on to the quiz. We'll handle that tomorrow. We're not gonna worry about that right now. Uh, we'll finish that off tomorrow, and then it's not letting me go back to the mission here. So we got a challenge right afterwards. So, which is control the workflow based on business context. Uh, so we're gonna be handling more of the workflow in the challenge, which is decent. I tend to like the workflows a little bit. It allows for you to really kind of analyze like the logic or the steps that you need to take to, get some work done or something like that. So look forward to that tomorrow. Um, I don't know if we're going to be able to get to automation shapes afterwards, um, because I may want to do quite a bit in this challenge. I'm pretty certain that I'm going to be going straight from the module into the challenge tomorrow. So just want to let everybody know. So, unless something else happens and that I need to talk about, takes up most of my time. Um, it can happen. Can always be, you know, I don't know what the future holds. So, as much as I might like to, and even then, would I really want to? Hmm, might go crazy with the with knowing how the future is. Um, okay, but that's where we're going to go ahead and close on out for our studying for Pega. So, um, if you enjoyed um, this video, if you learned anything, or if I provided some kind of insight to it, please do those normal YouTube things if you're watching this on YouTube. That'd be great. Um, um, yeah, you go down to the comment section and harass me there. No, 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 no. That's no, please don't. Uh, positive, positive, please. Or at least constructive. At the very least, you know, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Is typically one thing that I like to go with. Um, you know, my my blunt nature has gotten me into trouble at times. With how I, you know, state certain things at times. Um, so yeah, okay. We're gonna go ahead and stop the recording now.